about ordering worship. And stay with me. We're going to get right down into the weeds, into the nitty-gritty practical stuff of ordering worship. But it's important. It's so important that we have a sense of the big picture first. You see, what's happened in worship is we've become lost in motions. And understand me right here, but we've also, if a lot of people have forsaken motions and cut straight over to emotions. Now, this isn't a knock on emotions. It's just to say that it can be a substitute for good worship. So how do we get from the motions, how do we get them reconnected to the movement? See, worship is a movement that is ordered by the great worship leader, the Son of God. So I've got a little prop here today. These are Legos. And what you'll see here, this is the pattern of chaos. It's the inverted V. Adam, Eve, right? Created in the very image of God, decided that equality with God was something to be grasped after, right? If you eat this fruit, you will become like gods. When they did that, chaos reasserted itself, re-entered the world, and began to, it was anti-creation. I mean, what happens, Cain kills Abel, and, they're climbing this tower. This is a tower that goes literally all the way up to a tower, Babel. And what are the people saying here? They're saying, let's build a tower that reaches to the heavens. Let's make a great name for ourselves. And you know what happens? God says, let us go down. And they scattered the people, confused their language. That's the fascinating thing about this mind of Christ pattern, right? The one who being in very nature God, who didn't consider equality with God something to be grasped, but made himself nothing. These guys tried to make themselves something when in fact they were already something. They were created in the very image of God. He humbles himself. This is the pride pattern. This is the humble pattern. You see, if we're not careful, we'll order worship in a way that's just always this climbing up the mountain, when the real worship leader is always leading us down to the cross. There are huge implications in worship for this. So we go from the tower to the cross. He became obedient, mirroring the disobedience unto death, even death on a cross. And then God exalts him all the way up. And get this, he's given the name. These guys are trying to make a name for themselves. That's us. He's given the name that is above every name. That at his name every knee should bow in heaven and on earth, right? You get it. Every tongue confess. The tongues. The language is confused. Every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. This is what ordering worship does. This is why he is our worship leader.